Kālī Mā.
Kālī Mā.
Om.
Om.
So here we are for part 2, sharing the love. To share the love.
To share the love. Om.
So last video we made with Kika was a month ago. And so now we felt to check in and share how things have been going for her and what's present and what's been going on and how she feels and bring us up to speed. So, Om Namah Shivaya.
Here I am. I don't know for how long I've been here, but it feels like a lifetime. And at the same time, it feels like I just got here. My sense of space and time is collapsing, actually, crashing more and more as I'm moving into just completely different way of operating.
And how is that? How are you operating with the collapse of space-time? You find yourself being more intuitive and spontaneous?
Exactly. So I have dropped any sense of doership, any sense of feeling like I need to do something, and surrendering to each moment as it comes. So every second, every moment, just letting go of what happened even 2 seconds ago and just being here and seeing
fresh.
Exactly. So like blank page each moment, not just blank page like each morning when I wake up, but each moment. And that completely takes away any conditionings or any projections of
should, could, would.
Of what needs to happen or what I think I should do. It's
any
like
kind of plan.
Yeah, it's even like, I want to give an example. So for example, I have a feeling that I want to go to the kitchen and take something to eat. And then I wait for the impulse, like, will my body actually get up to do it? And suddenly, my body actually lifts up to do it. But again, I let it go. And maybe then, when I actually go to the kitchen, I actually take something else. So it's like really showing me that, just letting go actually each moment, not just like waiting for the impulse, like letting go again and again and again and again and again. And then, being fully aligned with what each moment wants to bring into my reality.
And do you find that new way of operating less stressful, more harmonious, and the choices you're making more nourishing and, to use a word, enlightened?
For sure. I feel that being in that kind of flow, it's taking away all the contraction, and I just feel like I am in the flow of love and the flow of light, and really feeling how being so aligned each moment is just it just doesn't bring any contraction in my body. I just feel so light all the time. I just feel so in flow. And also obviously seeing how when I'm being in that flow, the choices that I do make are obviously for my highest good and highest good of all, and it's just super harmonious and makes my body feel great and just makes my whole being feel so wonderful and and really in flow, really in full alignment. More and more each day, I can really surrender to this and trust. And
where is this flow? Like, what is the essence of this flow? Like you said, the flow of love, or is it the flow of Shakti, or is it the flow of your higher self, or is it intuition? Let's dive a little deeper into what are the qualities of this flow, and where is this flow? Where is its origin of this flow?
Great question. So this flow It feels like, so it's the Kundalini energy, and Kundalini energy is the divine itself, or it's love, or it's God, goddess, Kālī, Shakti, whatever way people relate to that. So to me,
the Kundalini love is expressing through you and not just guiding your choices, but it's, can we say that subject and object, guide and guided, intuited and done, doer, are starting to collapse. So the same energy that's guiding you to make the choice that you're making is also doing the choosing, and is also the thing you're choosing. So what I've noticed is, like in your example, I'm guided to go to the kitchen, then I go to the kitchen, like spontaneously I find myself in the kitchen, and then I'm in the kitchen, and then it's like I get a inspiration, like make this.
yeah,
And then I act on that inspiration, and then the thing that I make is like other dimensional. It can be the same dish I've had 1,000 times, but the energy in the dish that I make is so satisfying, so joyful, and so miraculous. Even if it's the same dish I've had 1,000,000 times, every time it's like, wow. Because what I discovered was, I'm answering my own questions.
Yes, great.
What I discovered was that guidance, guide, subject, object, it's all one. And that's my experience. So as long as I was like in the flow of love when that was made, then it also reflects that when I'm eating it.
Totally.
And then that is the most nourishing thing possible, no matter what it is, because it's not the guide, the guidance, and the thing guided to are all the same love. So when you're in the flow of love, also the results, if you want to use that word, of the guide, guidance, and being guided are miraculous, are other dimensional.
Yeah.
So it can be something so simple, and it'll be like the best thing you've ever tasted.
Exactly.
That's one example. Or another example would be, you know, you're guided to go to a dance with music you may not be aligned with generally, but you're really guided to go to this dance. And then while you're at the dance, that DJ plays in a way that you've never heard them play before.
Yes.
So it's the same thing as going to the kitchen. So it's all the same. You see, like, how is it possible that the DJ you're not aligned with, you suddenly became aligned with when you followed guidance and went to that ecstatic dance?
Exactly.
Because it's all in the flow of love. However, when you just decide, like, hey, I got to dance, I'm feeling nervous today, like, oh, I just want to get out of the house, it's also okay. But let's say the results of that is not as miraculous. That's a wrong way to look at it. It's not as resonant or joyous as it could be otherwise. So you slowly begin to learn through your experience and your growing wisdom how to relax into that flow of love without, as you said, projecting into the space of what you want. So in my example, I project that I need to move my body, I need to get out of the house or whatever. That sounds like some kind of anxiety coping.
Exactly. And it's kind of like, yeah, our mind believes actually that it knows better, and it knows better than God knows. And I've had a lot of this, especially at the beginning, you know, the conditioned intuition or something that worked for me before, or, you know, like memories of how something made me feel. So yeah, Kundalini would be guiding me one direction, and my mind is like, no, like, actually I need to do this, or and just.
So that's great. So basically the Shakti, Kālī, instigates an internal process of differentiating and discerning between what is conditioning and what is a movement of the divine in and around you. And you're constantly shown by the Shakti which is which.
Exactly.
And so it's going on 24/7.
24/7.
Brush your teeth,
24/7.
go to sleep, read this, watch that, go for a walk.
Yeah.
What happens on that walk?
I'm unlearning all the time. Unlearning everything. And Shakti, every day she shows me how to better actually operate in the world. So many people think that it's like, oh, like you're just focusing on the spiritual, you're not focusing on, like, you know, being human and all these things. It's like, no, Shakti is actually teaching me how to be the most efficient and healthy and vibrant and happy and joyous human that I can possibly be.
And how is that manifested into your physical body?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So about that. It's a big one. It's been a huge journey with my body, with my health. I already thought I was pretty healthy. I was vegan for 5 years, and yeah, it was like, doing okay, but still had really low energy, and my skin was so dry and all these things. I had so many
thinning.
Hair super thin. Now it's really, really alive and soft. I wish I could let you touch my skin now. My skin, it's unbelievable. Like, I didn't even know that skin can be this soft. Like, even my inner tissue, like the tissues of my skin, like, it's completely soft. I didn't know it was possible. Like, my coughs, completely soft, like baby's coughs. And all that just following the guidance. And there's been many things that Shakti has implemented in my life. And of course with Tim's guidance as well. Or Shakti's guidance through him to me as I was developing my own connection with Kālī and Shakti. Yeah. This energy, this love. Yeah, so many words for that. It's hard to explain, yeah. Just
love is
the feeling. Just the feeling.
And so is that,
yeah, so
in terms of your tissues are soft, but you can say like you're moving into a lighter state of expression.
Yeah.
At every level, right? So the emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical.
Yeah, so energy-wise, I have so much more energy. I don't need that much sleep anymore. Shakti wakes me up in the morning, feeling vibrant, feeling strong, feeling a lot more flexible in my body, doing crazy asana yoga poses that I could never do before, and they come spontaneously. You know, Shakti just suddenly, like, you know, puts my arm somewhere, puts my leg somewhere, and then puts me in a perfect back bend. My lower back doesn't hurt anymore. It did before.
And since we last checked in, you had a pretty huge change in journey, beginning of a Shaktipat journey with your throat chakra.
Oh yeah. Another good one, yes.
Yeah, so can you share about that?
So
how was it before?
my throat actually has been like a journey since I was a kid. When I was a kid, I had tonsillitis every second week. I was on antibiotics. I also had problems speaking, expressing myself. Just felt really, really vulnerable.
Also, like, there was a shyness. You were the girl that blushed.
Yeah, I was blushing all the time, every time I was approached, and I got bullied in school and all these things.
It would make you mute when you were in this blush.
Exactly. So yeah, my throat was just always really contracted. I started noticing in the past years that my throat is so contracted. I was also lying a lot. It was really hard for me to express my truth because I always felt like I'll be judged for it. As well as I always felt like, there's so much I actually want to share with the world. I have so much I want to speak about and so much I want to express, as well as sing. I always had visions of myself singing, and every time I had these visions, I was crying because it just really spoke to my heart. But yeah, I had really hard time to sing. Like every time, just like
couldn't physically sing, or when it did sing, it sounded like a battle.
Yeah, it was like I have these beautiful melodies playing in my head, but when I actually opened my mouth, like there's so much contraction in my throat that it wasn't coming true the way that it sounds in my mind or in my heart. And that was really bothering me. And now in meditations, like some weeks ago, or maybe more than a month ago, I finally started just spontaneously singing, or Shakti was started singing through me. And first, yeah, it was a bit dense, and like there was so much healing going on. Like,
so what is that like? It's like in meditation, or maybe just being around the house, you find something coming through your being, expressing through your throat and through your mouth, and you just relax into that.
Yeah, so the energy in this space is very Shaktified. Because of course, what's practiced here is the connection with Shakti and being in this divine flow. Yeah, so being in the space, being in the field of you, yeah, is very nourishing for my Shakti. So Shakti can actually start to express more easily through me, as my mind is taking a step back as well. So yes, the spontaneous singing started happening. Of course, in meditations it's extra strong because all of us participating are in this flow of not doing any willful movement and just being in the strong energy, just allowing Shakti to express, yeah, just whatever comes through. So yeah, first it was just some light noises, and now it's gone to full-on singing for an hour and a half straight, or singing for the whole day. And the singing has gone so many levels, like, yeah, so much improvement. It's starting to actually sound really beautiful sometimes.
And what are you singing when you're singing? Om Ma Jai Ma.
There's only love.
Vama.
There's only love.
Kālī.
I sing about love. Mostly I just sing that there's only love, and it's just happening spontaneously.
I am love.
And I am love. One being, one light, I am. Permeating all of the existence. That's coming through a lot. And
isn't it amazing how this love flowing through the throat chakra expresses itself in such an amazingly high vibration that it's almost like a reminder that the rest of us can align with that.
yeah.
And you know, you say I am love, or all you need is love, or everything is love.
Yeah.
I find myself saying similar things.
Yes.
And then like the mind has to get it eventually. You know, the mind is like questioning, is that true or whatever. But after singing it 1 million times,
Yeah.
you know, it has an effect on the whole field.
Exactly.
And so the throat is like saturating your being with vibrations of love coming from the divine, and not just you, because my experience in the meditations on this journey in the last, since my throat chakra began to open, is that whatever coming through this throat when I'm with others is part of the transmission, the strong part of the transmission. And not only is it bathing my being in these divine loving vibrations, but everyone else who is in the field. And I realized this early on in my throat chakra journey. Someone came to me when my throat chakra was just opening and said that my oming was a warm blanket or a warm ground where their process could take place. So it was like the base of their process and was like nourishing them and supporting them.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, because that's what it felt like to me internally as well. And here we are years later, and that's a big part of what's transmitted and what's shared is coming through the throat chakra, and not just as music and song and toning and light language, but also as satsang.
Yes, as well as different beings actually singing and speaking through us. That's a big one to mention as well.
Yeah, so that's another interesting thing with the throat chakra is, you know, who's speaking. And so I just want to put everything that kind of new age world about sovereignty and all that stuff aside for a moment. If we can just take that and put it over here. And that when you're in the flow of love, there's no question about sovereignty or who's speaking. There's none of this like suspicion or withholding or mindiness about who or what this is, because it's so obvious, even to the mind, that this is the flow of love. This is grace.
Yeah.
Grace flowing through the throat, and therefore, like, identifying or questioning. I hear some people say, like, you should question, you know, who's appearing or what's appearing in your meditations. Well, a lot of the times these beings self-identify.
Yeah.
It's just obvious who it is, and then when you have someone else who's also attuned, meditating with you, then it's quite easy to discern what being is present. But it's not out of a suspicion. It's like just out of acknowledging the frequency that's present. So when you become really open, and your throat's really open, your heart's really open, your crown's really, your being's really open, your whole field is open, and you're in alignment, different beings not only speak through you, but actually fully embody you.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's the most beautiful experience. And because we are in such high frequency, of course, like, the beings we connect with are the most high frequency beings. So there's angels that connect with us, and different Indian deities like Krishna and Kālī and Hanuman. Yeah, there's a lot that come true, and of course there's just they're just pure light and pure love themselves, and having that light and love enter our bodies is creating such a healing effect, and so much pleasure and joy and love, and after that kind of meditations, of course, like, it's very impactful, because it helps us actually realize the love and joy that we are, and the divinity of this whole existence, this plane, this how everything is love, like we sing. It's all love, and
then so I find it so celebratory. So when these beings, I would say, we're all aspects of the one being, of the one light. So there's no difference between over here and Krishna, or over here and Kālī. And I feel like when these aspects of the one, of which I am as well, join, it's in celebration. So it's not a teaching, like a mindy teaching about anything. If there are teachings, it's usually very simple and through song even, rather than something you have to, like, figure out or analyze. And very, very often through, like, songs that have been in my journey throughout my life. So the Kundalini loves to communicate through Beatles songs.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
It's just so much joy, you know? There's no seriousness in, like, this whole process.
Yeah. Or even, like, today we were listening to, like, Judy Garland, and we were listening to Louis Armstrong, and just seeing that when these music comes through, you see the divine, joyous nature of these lyrics and these melodies, which you may have not have understood before. But I feel like this divine intelligence is communicating with us all the time through song, and songs that we know, and songs that maybe we have some relationship with already. And this morning we were listening to Judy Garland and Louis Armstrong, What a Wonderful World. And we were both just in tears.
Weeping.
Weeping, because it's like listening to, like, a heavenly mass, you know, at the church. It's no different.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, because it's not our mind choosing the music. It's always Ma.
Yeah. Even the mind has resistance to music. Like, that's corny.
It's like, what? That doesn't even...
I heard that last week.
Exactly.
Typical mind talk.
But Ma always chooses
the right music.
Suited in the moment.
Yeah. Even sometimes the music comes in and it's, like, bizarrely different than what had been playing before.
Like house music.
Yeah, like suddenly house music, you know, or suddenly... you know, something that might be a little, like, dark techno, but it's filled with light.
Yeah, it's always on point.
It's the same thing about going to the kitchen. So the guidance is play this music, or be open to let this come through you, or both at the same time, usually. Yeah. And then it does, and you see that even this, like, dark club music is filled with light.
Yes.
But why is that? Because it's the same reason why the dish you prepared in the kitchen is filled with light.
Exactly.
It's the guide, the guidance, the act of being guided, the choice, and the manifestation are all love.
Yeah.
So of course, what you thought before was like dark techno is now again the heavenly choir. And it's such a great example of Tantra, right? That's what it is like the non-duality. Like, oh, you mean the dark techno is also light?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
enjoyable as light, and you can still be in tears. You're in tears at a
Yeah.
wonderful world and at the dark techno.
Exactly. And yeah, that's it about the conditioned intuition and yeah, what is what. It's actually only just surrendering to the flow of love and surrendering to each moment and not having any conditionings. And,
So we can
yeah.
say like, the choices, if we have free will or choices or something like that, the choice is the Luciferian choice, which is I am the doer, I am the
Yeah.
creator, my will is the most important thing.
Exactly.
I know best. I. Or
Yes,
you
yes,
can
yes.
become the clear crystal of
Yes,
divine
yes,
love.
Yes, wow.
So that's the choice. Do you want to
Exactly.
completely empty yourself of all conditioning, programming, fears, attachments, anything like that? Because all those things inhibit the flow of love.
Yeah.
Or do you want it to be all about your views, your will, your opinions, your memories, your goals, your desires, and operate from there? And I would
Exactly.
say that's the Luciferian temptation.
Yes.
Because, even if we, forget good and bad and all that stuff, we can just say the outcomes, because when you make the dish from your will, because that's what you want,
Yes.
it will not have the same nourishing effect on your field and
Yeah.
on your body as if you surrendered into the flow of love. So why would you not move or surrender into the surrendering of the flow of love as often as possible? Just keep surrendering into that flow of love, identifying it, surrendering into it, surrendering into it. A million times, even hundreds of times a day. And the more you do that, the more you are that. The more you
Yeah.
remember yourself as that.
Exactly.
The more you allow the divine to manifest through you. So that's the great example also, is like there's so much talk in the New Age circles about manifestation. But again, to me, that's tinged with the Luciferian dilemma.
Yeah,
Whereas if you allow that everything is manifestation and everything is being manifested quite perfectly without me, thank you very much, my limited mind does not know how manifestation needs to be.
Exactly.
Because think about manifestation, like the sun, the clouds, the plants, the flowers, the other person, like everything is manifesting all the time. Who's going to walk through this door at this moment? Will it start raining? Manifestation is everywhere all the time, and it's only this Luciferian temptation which believes that you can manifest as a quote-unquote co-creator with God, versus the path of surrender, which is you allow God to do what God does, which is to manifest, and you surrender into this joy of manifestation, and you're the gobsmacked, weeping, wonderstruck human at this flow of love. So, what sounds appealing to you? What is the program of eternal life, and what is the program of death?
Exactly.
What is the program of stress? What is the program of relaxation? You can just look at these choices and you can see what comes from, what choices are made from scarcity and fears, and what's made from abundance and joy.
Exactly.
And how have how is it coming with your relations with others? Are you finding that shifting as well?
Yeah, at first I was having some difficulty because I was like, I felt like, it feels contracting to speak with this person, or Shakti wasn't guiding me to speak with someone, and my mind was like, yeah, but that's actually really mean, like, how can I not reply? That's like not nice, or something. But actually, when I started to surrender to that, I actually started to see how, first of all, of course, I am not in contraction, but secondly, also my relationships are improving, and those that don't serve me in this moment are just, yeah, they're just
fading away.
Yeah, and you know, maybe they'll come back when they need to come back. But really surrendering to that and really seeing how that actually, it does serve the highest good, and it serves my awakening and their awakening too, because if it's not actually in the flow of love and my mind thinks that, oh, it needs to be this way, then again, it's remembering, like, who knows better? You are God. Like, come on.
And what's going on with your third eye?
I'm seeing visions all the time. And before, it was super rare for me. Like, I only got like probably like 5 visions in my whole life, and now I'm getting like dozens of visions every day.
Can you, well, first of all, Kālī Mā, that's so miraculous.
So
and
fun.
Yeah.
So fun.
And what kind of visions are you having? Like, what do you see?
So high vibe.
What's
So, actually, I just want to mention the fact that maybe a year and a half ago, I had my first vision. And it was at a Tantra festival, and I saw a Hindu temple. That was my first vision ever.
As an aside, when we first met, Kika had showed me a picture of also a vision of a mountain that you were seeing. And told me about a mountain she'd seen in a vision. And I showed her a picture of Mount Kailash, and she was like, that's it.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, it's like one of the most holy mountains for Hindus in the Himalayas, not just Hindus, also for many people. And that's what she was seeing in her vision. So when someone tells you something like that, then you know, like, this path seems pretty aligned.
Yeah, and the more I go forward, the more I remember these memories, and these little messages are already from the past that were always pointing me this direction. And with every day, I feel more and more aligned with where I am, and more aligned with my dharma, with my soul's purpose, and feeling just so much love and gratitude to be here. I always knew that this is gonna happen. I always felt it in my heart, and now I just feel so grateful, because I really feel like I am on my path. I feel so good, and I feel so nourished and so safe, like receiving all the guidance from angels and Kālī, just assuring me that, yeah, they're always by my side, and they're never gonna forsake me. And yeah, but yeah, about this the visions. So that was the first vision, and now and then the mountain, and all the visions I had prior to that as well were always really holy. It was always monasteries or something like this, really high vibe. And now here, I think the first visions I started getting was actually of Kālī. I started seeing Kālī, beautiful,
like all fierce and scary looking?
It's just so loving, actually. First when she was coming, she was a little more fierce. She had this but actually in a really playful way. So she had this big grin on her face and tongue hanging out and moving around, and but so much joy in her eyes. So she kind of looked like very oh little one, like there's some samskara there, or but in a very sweet way. So she was always indicating me when there's something unresolved.
But light and playful.
Exactly.
So that's something that people, because of the iconography and the age we're in and the collective projection, they don't have the experience that Kālī is frightening, scary to some people, emanation, where our experience is playful joy and love. Not to say that your blocks don't come up for review, they do, and Kālī serves that function of dissolving everything that doesn't serve and returning you to your divine blueprint, to your God self. But so the effect of this fierceness is the same, but the way it's expressed is playful love and joy.
Exactly. Yeah. So that started with that, and then I started seeing other deities. I saw Hanuman, and it was such a beautiful, I still remember the image. It was just so perfectly divine. No picture on the internet could represent the luminance and the beauty of Hanuman, because it was just so vibrant, the colors so bright, gold, and wow, it was just juicy. And all the visions, it's like I see the vision, and around them there's always like light. So they're, yeah.
And what do you, when you, like, for instance, the Hanuman experience, or when you're communing with Kālī, are they communicating with you, or are they just like sharing the field with you, or celebrating with you? Like, what's happening? You have the vision of Hanuman or another deity or being, and then what happens then?
It's mostly energetic.
Like, you feel their presence, you see them, but there's not. It's not for purpose of communication.
Sometimes there's also communication, especially with Kālī. I feel like Kālī gives me direct guidance sometimes.
Where the other beings are like here to celebrate.
Yeah, really. Yeah, really depends. I feel that every being has their own unique energy, and they all come for some reason, to bring you something, to bring some sort of energy in your being, in your field. So yeah, every being that comes, it brings in just this different kind of energy.
And are those visions of beings limited to Hinduism?
Not at all. It's actually, I'm just
kind of
more and
mind-blowing,
more.
isn't it?
Okay, so it's all one. Okay, and this is what we're learning more and more each day, and dropping all of our conditionings, all our beliefs, all our judgments about anything. You know, we have the Indian gods coming, we have angels coming, we even have 2 times we had ayahuasca goddess come, you know, so we could be like, yeah, this is the path, this is the only path, and, you know, plant medicines or this and this, but yeah, ayahuasca goddess came too. And Palladians came, also I'm getting visions of animals all the time. Seeing foxes and deer and these animal totems that come to assist me as well. And
so we can say, like, all creation, despite the human propensity to categorize and divide and separate and analyze, all creation celebrates your awakening.
Exactly.
So whether it's shamanic, or Hindu, or Christianity, or Judaism, or Buddhist, whatever, those are human labels for systems or belief systems or experiences that are wonderful, but just because you have an affinity towards a certain expression doesn't mean that you're limited to that expression. And that's so beautiful. It's very hard for the mind to get around, to grasp. But like, how can archangels and Kālī be present both in your body at the same time, not just in the field, but in your body, where you can literally feel yourself as a mashup of Kālī and angelic energy expressing in the field and in the body. And the mind is just like, well, what?
Yeah.
But wait a minute, there are no angels in Hinduism, and Kālī's not in Christianity.
Funny.
Like, wait a minute.
And it's just showing us that, you know, it's all one. Yeah. It's all one. It's all love, and it's all divine.
And so this is a great example of how Kālī, you know, with all her weapons and tools and her intention and her love, is breaking down those barriers. Because you can see, like, the mind will kick up and say, well, no, I don't believe in ETs. Well, who are the Palladians? Why are they here? But they are. It's obvious, you know, like many people are experiencing it. So just that reality for you and for everyone who's present breaks so much conditioning, and that's the way Kālī is breaking the conditioning.
Exactly.
It's in this playful, magnificent, miraculous, joyful,
so sweet.
Shocking, surprising way that bringing you towards one.
Exactly.
And now it's like a oneness, because we can see it's all related. It's a tapestry. Everything is the vibrations and frequencies. But later on, it'll just be the one reality. And this is like the path to one, because even, you know, these human distinctions about how different systems or religions or whatever are separate, and they're not. It's all an expression of the one.
Yeah, it's all one.
Om.
Om.
There is only love. Om Ma Jai Ma Shri Ma. Bhakta A Om Shakti Ma. Hail Mary, full of grace. We are all one. Hail Mary, Hail Mary, Hail Mary.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
Om Shakti.
Thank you so much for joining us for this sharing. Flow 333. And love to you all. Joy to the world. Om Namah Shivaya. Jai Mata Kālī. Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma. Om.